What is going on, everybody? It is the TNTKG with another sports talk video for you. So I am a big time Denver Broncos fan. And as you saw in week 1, it was a loss to the Raiders. So I have a couple of takes and feels on how I felt about this game. I did try to give a little bit of grace with week 1 because it's a new coaching staff and a bunch of new players. One thing I did say that I liked was the play of Patrick Surtain. I feel like he did as good as ever as he could have regarding, I'm going to pull up the stuff here, the box score on everything, regarding his situation on Davante Adams. He didn't even cover Davante the entire time, and Davante was 6 for 66 yards and 0 targets. A lot of when Davante got his catches and everything. Now, he got some on Surtain, and he got a huge pass interference call, but the Broncos kept him out of the end zone on that one. So he got a huge pass interference call on that one. And I will honestly say I don't place that much blame on Russell Wilson in this one. Because, or the offensive line. Even though, he didn't do all that great for his first game, and these are look similar to his numbers of the opening in Seattle. What I liked and what I didn't see last year was all the running he did outside of the pocket. A lot of his passes, including his touchdown pass to Courtland Sutton, was him scrambling out of the pocket, making an extra play, and making it so that there was enough time to throw it to Sutton. Some things that I did wish Russell would do a little more is there was a time where he dumped it off to, I believe, Javonte or Pirine, and he could have ran for the first down and slid, a lot like Jimmy G did on that game-sealing first down. I wish Russ would have done a little bit more of that because he is faster than Jimmy G, more athletic than Jimmy G, and he's got a 5-year, $250+ million contract coming in. He's the leader of the team. But he's on a short leash. I do place a decent amount of the blame on Sean Payton because I didn't like some of his calls. I didn't like the 55-yard field goal that Will Lutz went through. I didn't understand why they picked him up and got rid of Brett Maher. Because Will Lutz, now last year he had a good year with his field goals and his PATs, but if he just makes those 2 kicks, that's a win for the Broncos. You could also argue that Denver played well enough to win this game, and if there hadn't been an ego call by Sean Payton in trying to make this game, this season about I'm here, I'm the savior for Denver, that there was no need to do an onside kick on the first play of the game. Guaranteed by a game, literally, as they call it, a game of inches, Denver almost got the ball. But instead, we touched the ball early, which caused a flag, which gave the Raiders an extremely short field, and they didn't have to dip into all of their plays. Jimmy G is a limited quarterback in what he can do, but he's really good. He's got I think he's got a 70% win percentage or something similar to that. A really good win percentage. Kyle Shanahan, without him, before Brock Purdy, didn't look as good when Jimmy G was down. You're talking about the guy that filled in and did amazing for Tom Brady those times when Tom Brady got suspended. The guy that Bill Belichick wanted to make his next guy, but Tom Brady went in and said, hey, Mr. Kraft, this guy's got to go or I'm going to go. And Mr. Kraft jumped in and said, okay, you're going to trade him. And then he went to San Francisco. So, Jimmy Garoppolo is a better quarterback than a lot of people give him credit for. And he threw the interception for sure, but it's not like he threw it right to the defender. He threw it, the ball got popped up in the air, and that was that. But he had a touchdown on the other side of the field. But he had already went through that route, went through that check, went to there, and went for that. I will say, one thing that I can take away from this game is Denver has a run defense. It is about time. Josh Jacobs ran through us last year, and arguably previous years. This year, a long of 7. 19 carries for 48 yards. I'll take that. I'll take it. I will. I will take that all day. That is a positive to take from this. Russell Wilson, obviously in a new system. What do you do? In a new system, he's got to learn Sean Payton's offense, which I'm sure is different than Nathaniel Hackett's. And it's their first year together. I don't think this relationship is going to work well together. I think Sean Payton will show the best of Russell Wilson that we can get at his age. But I do think that Sean Payton is here with the Broncos and Russell Wilson is here. And I don't say that as an insult to either one of those men. I say that in a reason as in Denver has a new ownership group and they picked their guy. Russell Wilson and George Payton were there when they got there. If they don't win this year, George Payton's fired. Russell Wilson is on a short leash. And let's just face it. Denver, if they can't figure something out with Mims, then they're going to have to go get a wide receiver in the draft. Or you could argue they could go get a quarterback in the draft if their record is bad enough. They could try for a Shedeur Sanders. They could try to trade up for a Marvin Harrison Jr. or some type. This is a heavy quarterback, heavy receiver draft. So it's important that you get one of them right because you need receivers in today's NFL. Right now you've got Courtland Sutton, who on this, as you can see, didn't even lead in receiving. 5 targets for 32 yards. He didn't even lead in receiving. So what do you do on that? It's not really much you can do. You have to resort to praying that Jerry Jeudy will come back because Tim Patrick is out with an ACL. I think he's not a Bronco after this season. KJ Hamler, who would be awesome, is having pericarditis heart issues. He's got to figure out his health 110%. Prayers to him. Hopefully he heals up. But Courtland Sutton might not be a 1. Greg Dulcich was amazing. He's out for several weeks with a leg injury. So you've really got to go to LaJordan Humphrey. And then you've got, I don't remember who it was. I want to say it was Philip Dorsett. If he could have just kept his feet in bounds, then that's a game-changing play. He had so much green, that very well could have been a touchdown. But, like I said, it's week 1. 1 week at a time. I had Denver going for about 7 to 9 wins this year, hopefully. And I think that's still a possibility if we can get an upset because I had them beating the Raiders in this game. Now, that's still a possibility. Let's take a look at their schedule and see what possibles we can have. I don't think they beat Kansas City twice, but there's a chance for them to have an upset alert. So I think they will beat the Washington Commanders. They play that game at home. They'll win that one. The Dolphins at Miami is going to be tough. I don't know if we can quite contain the Miami offense that we saw that beat the Chargers the other day. Because you can't contain Tyreek Hill. I mean, even if you put Pat Surtain on him, that's still going to be rough. I think you almost have to put Pat Surtain on him and try to see what he can do and kind of rough him up a little bit. But then you've got, is it Devon? Their other receiver, is it Devontae Parker? I don't think it's Devontae Parker. I need to see this. Hold on. Dolphins depth chart. Here we go. Let's look at this. Who is it? I want to say it's Devontae Parker, but I don't think it's Devontae something. It's Jalen Waddle. That's right. I was thinking of another individual. You have Jalen Waddle over there, who is a bigger, faster receiver that you could say you have to put Pat Surtain on. But that corner on the other side of Pat Surtain, Damari Mathis, he was terrible. This game, I'm just going to assume it was a bad game for him, but he was terrible. He got eaten up by by Jacoby Myers. He gave up 2 touchdowns and a bunch of plays. They even moved Pat Surtain on him and switched it over to the other side, and then Devontae Adams got the ball. Jimmy Garoppolo exposed him all game. All game. Now, again, week 1. So, let's go back to Denver's schedule and see how we think they do. I think coming out of the Bears, they will go 2-2 because they lost to the Raiders. I originally had them at 3-1. I think they'll beat the Jets for their 3rd win, lose to the Chiefs for their 3rd loss. I think they'll beat the Packers for their 4th win. They might upset the Chiefs. They might not. I doubt it. So probably 4-4. Depending on if Von Miller's there and how Buffalo's playing. It's up in Buffalo. Josh Allen does like to turn the ball over. If they do get to that one, what they're going to have to do is Josh Allen has a Brett Favre-like situation to his game where he will throw you the ball to the other team. You just got to come down with it. You know that he's going to give you opportunities to get the ball. You just have to make sure that you don't give up those opportunities. The Vikings, I think we can beat Kirk Cousins. I really do. I think the matchup of Patrick Surtain and Justin Jefferson is very interesting. I think it's absolutely going to be a fun one to watch up. Because Patrick Surtain, in my opinion, is one of the 3 best corners in the league. You've got Stephon Gilmore, you've got Patrick Surtain, you've got Sauce Gardner. You put them in whatever order you want to put them in, and they are all amazing, in my opinion. You've got the Browns. I'm not that high on Deshaun Watson and the Browns. I think they can stop Nick Chubb in the run game because they just stopped Josh Jacobs in the run game. Pat Surtain will shut down Amari Cooper. I'm not concerned about anybody on that team, really. Maybe Myles Garrett and who's their other defensive end? Zadarius Smith. But I think Denver comes out with a win in that one. They'll beat the Texans. They just will. He's too young. He's too new. I think they'll lose to the Chargers at the Chargers, and they'll beat the Lions. The Lions are great, but I really do. I think they'll beat the Lions. I have them beating the Patriots at Denver, beating the Chargers at Denver, and I'll have to swap it and say that they can beat the Raiders because I originally had them swapping. So I have a win at the Commanders, a win at the Bears, a win at the Jets, a win with the Packers, a win with Kirk Cousins, a win with the Browns, a win with the Texans, a win with the Chargers, a win with the Lions. So I have them winning probably 7 to 10, 9+ games. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I'm probably wrong on some of those, but I have them winning somewhere around the 7 to 9, 10-ish games. I think they can. I think Sean Payton can figure this out and do what he's got to do because he's a phenomenal coach. I think now a lot of egos will be taken out of it, but I do think that Russell Wilson knows this isn't his team anymore. This is Sean Payton's team, and he got Drew Brees right when he got out of the Chargers, and then he had a wonderful, amazing career in New Orleans. And I think if anybody can do it, he can. And Sean Payton will be here after Russell Wilson's gone because he has a short leash. But I think this will work out. I think we'll get somewhere because Jerry Jeudy will come back and Greg Dulcich will come back, and we'll have somewhere between the 7 7-10, 11 if we get lucky, wins on this. But I don't see us getting swept by the Raiders. I don't see us getting swept by the Chargers. We always play them close, and we upset them last year. I think we'll upset them this year. But Russell Wilson also played amazing against the Chiefs last year and was having a really good game until he got hurt, and then we know how that one went. But I digress. I know this video has been kind of all over the place, and it's been a coverage from a reaction to the Raiders to how I think the Broncos will do. I think they will do really well in the long run, and I think Sean Payton's the right coach, and I very well could just be biased, but what else is a fan supposed to be? So I do think that they have a solid chance at coming close to the playoffs, if not being the wild card team, because I have Kansas City or the Chargers winning this division. Anything can happen on a week-to-week basis, right? Well, if you guys like these sports videos, again, hit that like or subscribe button. And I will catch you guys in the next one. God loves you. Peace out.